Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Look, even our guest has an angelic glow over her today here. This is Daiana Lambrecht. We're going to talk to her in just a minute, but this is another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law. Gamez Law fights, and that's why I have the boxing glove. They've been so good to me. But this is another episode in conjunction with City Education Partners. They've been amazing. We got together last fall, I guess it was, and decided to do a series of shows on topics related to education. And this is the fifth in a series of 5 episodes that we're doing with them, and hopefully we'll continue to do more in the future. But Daiana was selected to join me in the car, and I'm thrilled that you're here.
Thank you so much for having me here. Excited.
Okay, and you're expecting, so
yes,
congratulations
I am.
on all that.
Thank you. Y'all can't see the bump here, but it's here.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you
here.
so much.
So we appreciate it. So you have such an impressive resume and accomplishments and everything.
Thank you.
But the headline, I guess, right now is you are the executive director of an organization that you created several months ago called Futuro San Antonio.
That is correct.
Or Future San Antonio. Or
that
San Antonio
is right.
Future. Futuro is future. I'm working on my Spanish. I was just telling Daiana. Let's start with that. Your organization. Tell our viewers about it. How would you describe what that is?
Yes. So I've been incubating Futuro San Antonio for the past 8 months. We're going live. We're going more public in the next month or so. And I'm thrilled to be able to lead this organization. It is an advocacy nonprofit, really focused in bringing prosperity to San Antonio children through ensuring that each kid in San Antonio, regardless of zip code, race, economic status, has access to a quality education. We believe that is necessary for kids to thrive in the future, and we're aiming to strive at that outcome through advocacy work and working with families and in partnership with students and families in our community.
I love it. So the work is underway, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. You might detect an accent here, which I love your accent, by the way.
Thank you.
You are originally from Argentina.
That is correct.
Yes. So tell me about your time growing up in Argentina and what eventually brought you to the United States.
Yes. So I have been born and raised in Argentina. I came to the United States when I was 11 years old. My mom in Argentina used to be an educator. My grandma also a teacher and a principal, so come from a long line of educators.
Right.
And my dad always did metal construction type of work.
Okay.
We came due to the poor economic status of our country, and we actually had family that was living in Florida, so we ended up immigrating to Venice, Florida, a retirement community where I grew up, and I would say it was tough the first few years. I was the only Latina in classrooms. My teachers often didn't know how to work with me as an English language learner. And even more so, it became tougher later on as we spent about 10 years undocumented in this country. So that also limited my access to college opportunities in my first couple of years as a student.
But, I mean, the education system in Argentina, not great, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, I would say in terms of opportunities and access to jobs after, you're getting a college education, not great. However, in terms of academic learning at a younger grade levels, I was quite impressed actually when I was a teacher here in San Antonio, a bilingual educator, a 5th grade teacher. I traveled to Argentina and got to interact with my cousins, and I was quite impressed around their level of critical thinking and reading and writing, even at an elementary level. But I would say opportunities oftentimes are difficult after gaining a college career as well.
So you taught on the east side of town here in San Antonio, right?
I did. I was a 5th grade bilingual educator here on the east side.
Yeah. What was that like? Because I was just telling you about my struggles trying to learn Spanish and how I try to tell my kids, please, if you do anything, just, be great, but learn. I mean, the importance of learning and being bilingual, I think, is just so important.
Yes. No, so for me as a bilingual educator, I'm very committed myself to preserve my own language, which is Spanish, and also be able to thrive in this country knowing English. But I think it was difficult oftentimes as a teacher to see my students being so far behind in terms of academic learning. Like a lot of my students were, even though I was teaching 5th grade, were reading at a kinder or 1st grade level. And, that really highlighted the injustices for me as an educator around our students not being able to sometimes perform academically on grade level, and the discrepancy and differences between schools and access
Right.
and systemic barriers depending on the side of town that you live.
So, I mean, does the research show that learning that second language, I guess in this case Spanish, has an absolute positive effect on future success and the ability to learn?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research around, in terms of critical thinking, to, being able to expand, in terms of memory skills and whatnot that are supportive, and cognitive development that are supported by having, two languages. So really, really a big champion of programs that are about dual language, bilingualism. But I think it is also ultimately a family choice on whether that is something that families want for their kids.
You might be one of the most educated people I've ever had in this car in terms of, like, you came to the U.S. and so you went to high school in Florida?
Florida. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then after that, you did not mess around. You went to Penn State, right?
I did. I was able to transfer from a community college to Penn State after I received my green card.
Yes.
And also be able to study abroad, learn Chinese, study abroad in China, and then eventually ended up getting my master's degree at the Harvard Graduate School of Education.
So that's what I was just going to say. Penn State, great. Nittany Lions, and I would be like, that's impressive, great job. And then, oh, by the way, you went to Harvard too.
Yes, I did.
Like,
yes,
I feel less intelligent just being next to you, because like Harvard is like the Mecca. Like, you are very smart.
Well, I appreciate that. My parents are very proud. What I would say, I don't know that I would consider myself smart, but it's more about hard work. I think
Right.
I've been able to really push myself in moments of feeling insecure about,
Right.
my academic learning. But also I was very lucky to have mentors that saw something in me,
Yeah.
believed in me, and helped me in moments of need, and had sometimes the confidence that I didn't even see in myself. They had it. They saw something in me, and I wish to be that person for others in the community too.
Right. Did any of the Northeastern, like the Boston accent, did you get any of that when you were over there?
I mean, yes. I mean, I was living in Cambridge, and a lot of Bostonians. And,
And what do they call it, like Park Your Car and Harvard Yard and those kinds of things that didn't rub off on you?
no, it did not rub off on me, but it took me a minute to
Yes.
figure out what they would be saying, but
Yes.
figure it out eventually.
One of my close friends is from Massachusetts, and so we talk about that often, how some of it may have rubbed off on me, but nonetheless. So so you do Harvard, you do all that, you're amazing, super education, and then you decide at what point you're going to get to San Antonio. How did that happen?
Yeah, so right after graduating from Penn State, my undergrad, I actually applied to be a Teach for America fellow, so I got placed here in San Antonio
Okay.
to come teach on the east side of San Antonio. And
How much did you know about San Antonio at the time when you...
Honestly, as I was filling the application, I'm Argentinian, as I
Right.
was saying. You had to list the ranking of your cities, and I literally thought, I'm like, okay, I'll put San Antonio. At least I'll get to go to a Spurs game and watch Manu Ginobili.
I knew his name was going to come
Yes,
up.
yes.
I knew
Manu
it.
Ginobili came up in this interview, but I honestly has been a blessing being in this city. I love San Antonio. This is a place where I got to meet my husband,
Yes.
where I got to learn so much about the inequities in education, but also how beautiful this community is and powerful in terms of working with parents from the classroom. And eventually we decided to move away to get our graduate degree and work a little bit abroad in the Northeast.
Right.
But 6 years ago, we relocated back to San Antonio, and now I'm thrilled to become a first-time mom here in the city and raise our kids in the city as well.
So your little girl's going to be 100% Texan.
100%, yes.
That's fantastic. All right. So since you brought up Ginobili, I'm just curious. I know Lionel Messi from Argentina won the World Cup and everything.
Yes.
How big of a deal is Manu Ginobili in Argentina, even today?
He's a pretty big deal, and because people that before weren't even into basketball,
Right. Because Messi, like soccer, like people, or football.
Yeah.
But-
I would say that's like in another level, just because Argentinians are so passionate about
Right.
football, about soccer.
But I think you're right.
But
Ginobili,
Ginobili really made basketball, a thing in Argentina. Sometimes you walk around and there's people wearing his jersey, and I think it's also he's given back to Argentina. Actually,
Yes.
recently there was a storm in Bahia Blanca where he's from, and he raised a bunch of money and resources to send back to his hometown. So, he's very respected and loved in the Argentinian community.
And he's still he could run for mayor of San Antonio today with no disrespect to Mayor Ron Nirenberg and probably win.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love in this community.
There's a lot of love. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. He's a legend here in San Antonio. Okay. Did you ever play sports, or did you ever?
Yeah, I played soccer.
Okay.
I swam on a swimming team, but I was in
Okay.
a soccer team for about 7-8 years.
Oh,
I was
my
captain
goodness.
of my soccer team as a goalkeeper, and I loved the work.
I love it. All right. So this is Daiana Lambrecht, the executive director at Futuro San Antonio, among other things. I mean, it's so impressive just to talk to you. And there's somebody saying, ole, 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 ole. Yeah, that's a good one. You know what that is.
I love it.
Manu would be the next thing. Okay, so we're talking about your nonprofit that you've launched here. What is your role in terms of working with school districts or the parents out there who, these conversations I've had with city education partners, you just realize that that parents have choices, and that what I have found in a lot of cases, if these parents knew about these options that were out there, that maybe it could help put their kids in a better position to succeed.
Absolutely. So we strive to do at Futuro, we really want to ensure that we have strong local policies that support equity in education, and that we have strong and bold elected officials, elected representatives and leaders in our cities who are making decisions centering on what's best for kids and families, right? And that means getting our community involved to hold those folks accountable and to ensure that they're putting a vision forward around what they would like to see in their own city. So for our own organization, we're hoping to build community power through community organizing, through learning how to advocate, who's making decisions, how does power work behind the scenes, and so forth, so that they can set the agenda for what they would like as a city, as a community, and as families, and do the advocacy work to see that forward.
So a typical day for you, is it just a lot of meetings and phone calls and
It is a lot of meetings,
lobbying,
phone calls,
those types of things?
Meeting with electeds, but then also building coalition and building power as a community. We're launching next month our first Futuro Families Organized cohort, which we're inviting viewers. I'll tell you all more towards the end how to get engaged. But we want family and student voices at the center of this work. And that also means learning together, building leadership together, and then aligning on the agenda that we may have collectively, and see that through in terms of policy work and the type of leadership we might want to see from electeds.
Yeah. Do you miss teaching, being in the classroom?
I do. I miss being in the classroom. However, I feel like I get to be in a bit of the classroom every time I'm engaging with families, because they'll bring their kids. It's a community affair, and I get a little bit of the best of both worlds of, seeing the kids, but also seeing how parents begin to see themselves in a different light, and in terms of believing in their own power, capacity, and being able to fight for their kids, which is what we want.
We were talking earlier before we came on just about some of the struggles. I mean, teaching is just, I tell people I tried to be a teacher early, when I was much younger. I taught and different things like that. But I feel like it's changed over the years, and some of the challenges with STAR testing and the metrics and everything, my heart goes out to these teachers sometimes, and they're not getting rich, obviously. And it's a lot of long hours and money spent out of pocket to buy supplies and stuff like that. But do you feel like it's slowly trending in the right direction, or still work to be done?
I mean, I think that there's still a lot of work to be done. I think particularly here in San Antonio, we are in the top 5 largest counties in the state, but we're the lowest when it comes to college graduation rates. Only 38% of our kids who are in 3rd through 8th grade are on grade level when it comes to math, and numbers are quite similar in terms of literacy. So we have a long way to go, even when looking at our own state and how well we may be preparing our students or not, right? So I'm really hoping that through policy work that we need to change at the local level, and there are many organizations and coalitions working at the state level, that we can provide, whether that's additional funding, resources, removing barriers that are getting in the way of our students having the access that they need.
I know you've only been going for a few months, but do you feel like you've already made an impact, or people are finding out about what you're doing?
Yes. So people are finding out about what we're doing. We're beginning to build coalition and surface. We're in listening mode right now in terms of really surfacing those issues that community cares about. So we really invite folks, please let us know if you like for us to take you out for coffee. Like, we really want to meet with our community to really surface the issues that we may want to solve as a collective.
Yeah. So I guess that brings me to getting involved. There might be parents who are watching this and saying, hey, I could use that, or that sounds like something I want to get involved in. Where do you need the most help right now, or how can they get involved?
Yes, absolutely. So we're launching a couple programs next month. One of them I just spoke a little bit ago about, which is our Futuro Families Organized program, which we're hoping to build a citywide coalition of families who are shaping an agenda for our city around education and what they would like to see. The other program we have going on is our Futuro Families Vote, which we're really hoping to build power in terms of having an active voter base in our city. And that could be, seniors who are graduating, who are becoming first-time voters, or families who maybe are not as active in voting that would like to get involved. In San Antonio, we have a big, voter turnout problem.
Yeah.
Many people are registered, but they're not showing up to the polls, and that is a way that we can, communicate what's important to us, right? So we're inviting engagement. Right now, you can go to our website, which is futuro-sa.org, to our Get Involved page and sign up. We'll reach out to you. We'll find a way to connect. And there's plenty of ways to get engaged, whether you're a parent, a community member, or just somebody that cares about education in our city and how to shift that.
It is a presidential election year, so hopefully the numbers tend to go a little higher when the president election rolls around. So maybe you'll have some more luck with that this year.
Yes. But we gotta keep that going in municipal elections and
that's true.
primaries and so on.
That's true. It's a process.
It's a process.
So this is a lot of work. You're very busy. You got a little one on the way. What do you like to do for fun when you're not trying to help young people?
Yeah, I mean, I love Texas. I love getting to experience the nature and the peace that our state provides. So we usually go on a camping trip around March to Big Bend every year.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I don't know if that will happen because my baby's due March 7th. So, but we're actually planning to see if we can do a little getaway to the hill country, doing something smaller.
Okay.
So we tend to do like little weekend getaways to the hill country. And I love also just walking around my neighborhood.
It's a beautiful neighborhood.
We live here right by Jefferson High School, so a big shout out to my neighborhood community. And walk with our dog. We have an Italian Mastiff, and she's her fur baby.
I love it. Okay, Argentinian food in San Antonio. Your thoughts?
Fat tummies on the west side. I'm gonna put a plug there.
Okay, go ahead. That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yes. They're this family from Mendoza, from Argentina. It's a province in Argentina.
Yes.
They make amazing empanadas.
I love empanadas.
I'll put a plug there, but
what is it called again?
Fat tummies empanadas.
Fat tummy, like panza?
Like panza. The empanadas are really big.
Like mine? Fat
Yes.
tummies. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
You should go check them out. They're, when I'm craving Argentinian food, I go to Fat Tummies. But I've also, my husband's Mexican American.
Yes.
But slowly, he's been working with my dad to know how to make asado. So we'll go find some of the best cuts of the cow, and we'll grill in the back of my house, and it's a treat.
You like to get back there and cook and make all that? The empanadas,
I make the empanadas.
I make pumpkin. I make sweet ones.
Oh,
during the holidays, I make
pumpkins
pumpkin.
are my husband's favorite.
My departed grandmother taught me and my mother years ago about making the pumpkin empanadas, but I've never made. I love beef one. The beef, or I don't know what else how you like to have yours, but
no, beef are my specialty. My mom taught me how to make the beef empanadas. Also make chicken. And also make spinach and cheese.
And it's like a little sauce you put on top, or like
chimichurri.
Chimichurri,
yes.
Let's go right now. Let's go.
We're gonna go to Fat Tummy's, and we'll see you all in a little bit.
I'm gonna find this place now. The empanadas. Okay.
I mean,
right.
some folks have
yes. Bernard is saying
too.
Fat Tummy's, because especially with the cold weather and everything.
Oh yeah,
imagine.
Empanadas sounds great right now.
okay. Because some people don't. I mean, I don't know about the Argentinian cuisine scene here in San Antonio. There's so many great restaurants, but for someone that does it right and does it good.
No, they're Argentinians, so they do it right and they do it good.
Okay.
I wish there were more options too.
Okay.
I'll put that plug there, but I know that there's not a lot of us, so I get that too.
Have you ever met or run into Manu Ginobili?
No, I would love that. Would be a dream of mine.
Okay.
So Manu, if you're watching, please call me.
We're gonna put a. I'll tag him on here and put it out in the universe. Somebody knows Manu Ginobili.
That would be a dream of mine. I mean, obviously, I've been to the Spurs many times, even to watch him play when he was playing, and continue to support the Spurs. I love the team.
Yeah.
But it would be a dream of mine to meet him.
Yeah. How often do you go back? You saw family in Argentina?
Yes, we were back in November this past year, but it had been a little while due to the pandemic. But it was wonderful to be able to see family and reconnect with, culture, and also get to see different parts of Argentina. I grew up in a small industrial town. There's not a lot to do, to be frank, but we actually got to travel a little bit to Bariloche near the Andes, and got to see more nature and different scene as well, which was really cool.
I love it. So you mentioned Futuro San Antonio. Futuro-sa.org is the website.
That is correct.
So, big picture, looking ahead, we're about 3 weeks into the new year and everything. What are some things that you would like to accomplish with your organization, and kind of, long term, what are you wanting to do?
Yes, so we're really hoping to be able to elevate the amount of voters who really care about education, that are showing up to the polls consistently, not just in presidential years.
Right.
We're really hoping to begin to build this coalition of families and students and youth down the line to really be the voice for what's needed in education in our city, and set a vision for what we need in regards to policy and decision making in our city. And we're also hoping to build a pipeline of leaders, folks that may want to run for office or may want to take leadership in a different way. Come to us, we'll work with you. We really want to make sure that we're aligned around values and things that we'll care about in the city, and provide ways for folks to take leadership on those issues.
So, you ready to be a mama?
Getting there.
Have the nursery ready. When she comes along, though, you're still going to be able to run your organization and do all that. Because you're not going to sleep much.
Yeah.
You're going to be...
I mean, I think, fortunately, my mom will be here to help. We'll be coming from Florida. God bless her mom.
That's so great.
My husband has paternity leave too. We'll make it work.
Okay.
But I grew up, my mom, she always worked. Both my mom and my dad. But I grew up with a strong mama.
Yes.
And I want to be that for my daughter too. And, it's part of life, like having to balance both career and motherhood, but I'm ready for it.
Such an exciting time for you. So many great things going on. And I don't know how many Harvard grads are in San Antonio, but I can say at least I know one.
Well, I appreciate that. My parents are very proud, but I would say I'm not here as it's not just the hard work on my own or the determination on my own, but a lot of people who invested in me and believed in me when I didn't.
Do you think back to when you were a little girl in Argentina, thinking about, when I grow up, I want to do this, or, like going to Harvard and starting a nonprofit in San Antonio, were those kinds of things on your mind back then?
Not at all. I was even the
You were going to be a soccer player, right?
I was always very adventurous. But I was the kid that I'll never be a teacher, because my mom was a teacher, and she would always be grading papers late at night, like involved in so many things. So a little bit of part of me resented that a little bit.
Right.
But of course, I ended up becoming a teacher. And
the apple did not fall far from the tree.
And then my sister, she's a school counselor, so I feel like education just became such a powerful value in our household. And I ended up leaving the classroom, of course, and I've been doing for the last 10 years. Been doing community organizing and advocacy work, but it's all around how we can support students and provide a better pathway for them.
Well, this is what I was saying about, with City Education Partners. I think a lot of people don't realize that there are people like you here in San Antonio that are advocating every day for kids and for parents. Some parents might feel like they're alone sometimes, or that their kid has to go to this school, or it has to be this way, and that there's just no way for them to get help. And I know part of what you do, or a lot of what you do, is to make sure that they get the best opportunity.
Yeah, and speaking about that, the other day I was talking to this mom on the west side where, she's just a perfect example of like some of the issues that her families go through in schools, or when they don't feel heard. Her oldest son was diagnosed and is part of the special education program. And, she was telling me what their journey was like, because her child was not receiving the services that he needed to receive to feel comfortable in the classroom, to also excel in terms of academic learning.
Right.
And, she advocated many times, and her voice was not heard. And she ended up leaving that school and placing him in a different school. And now they're thriving as a family, and they feel like they found the place where her child's getting what he needs.
Yeah.
But oftentimes it's moments like that, whether it's one-on-one with your child, or whether you're seeing a larger problem that is affecting many kids and the community as a whole, that we want to be here as an organization to help our community problem solve and build power collectively to get through those issues together.
All right. So the educational future of San Antonio is looking more bright thanks to people like Daiana. So it's great what you do.
Thank you so
much.
And
we're so great that you're here and doing all these things. And congratulations on your little bundle of joy. So March 7th is the magic date, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
March 7th is the magic
my
date.
birthday's March 2nd, so she's going to be Pisces, right?
She's going to be Pisces, yes.
I think I turned out okay. So I think your little girl will be just fine. So, thank you for what you do. By the way, just one more time, remind everybody, Futuro San Antonio is the organization, futuro-sa.org. If you want to find out more how to get involved, find out about what Diana's been talking about and just kind of her passion, you can definitely see it in the camera here. And I'm so thrilled to be able to visit with you today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the space. We really hope to count on your support as we're building this organization. And I invite any listener or watcher who's interested to come join us. Come be part of the movement. Come be part of what we're trying to build here in San Antonio.
Love it. Futuro-sa.org. So again, this has been an episode in conjunction with City Education Partners. It's been so great to get to meet all 5 of the educational leaders that I've met with this are just unbelievable people, and you are certainly on that list as well. So congratulations and continued success.
Thank you so much, Ernie.
Very good.
Really appreciate it.
Okay. Well, this has been another episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm. Again, this one's sponsored today by City Education Partners. And I will be back again very soon with another episode right here. So please watch and stay safe and warm this weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hey, everybody.